And we are
Live.
live.
Hello. Hello. Let me see if it's going to load. Okay. It's there.
Unfortunately.
It's there. It's another Sunday. The most irregular days of the week, but it's Sunday this week. Hello everyone. Welcome. To the next weekly episode of the Musical Chairs. We are going to talk about, as always, about Bitcoin, some of the plans coming in the upcoming week, but also some altcoins and everything. So the streams are sponsored by Woo, as always. Thank you, Woo, for sponsoring us. If you want to support the stream, show some love. You can make a new account with the first link you see in the description. After you open the trade, you will get a bunch of benefits which you can see at the bottom of the screen, or you can read about them in the description. And with all that being said, I think we can take a look at some of the charts. So if you're going to switch to my screen,
Tradingriot is connecting for good last.
yeah,
2 minutes.
this is not working. So let me start on a trading view. Starting with BTC as always, I have the all-time high here, the previous all-time high. We broke above it this week. Then we kind of failed to hold it. You know, we had basically these kind of bounces. You know, these kind of small liquidation events, which this is H4 chart, so they look really tiny. They kind of kept getting bought back up, but then eventually the last one kind of didn't, and we sold off underneath that, and we are basically trading underneath the all-time high, the previous all-time high. BTC is up 5% today. I kind of spoke about this yesterday, and I think we actually talked about this the last week as well, because the last time we streamed was actually at basically the same price as it is right now, kind of. So, but last week basically I kind of mentioned that my levels, or at least I hope I did, my kind of levels for Bitcoin would be somewhere around this area. You know, we had this kind of a big daily down candle, which pushed the all-time highs. There's this little bit of a untested level of support. We tested this overnight or like early in the morning today, bouncing from it a little bit. I think, the way that Bitcoin is looking, and obviously we had this kind of insane run up, kind of a thing that it's a little bit unfortunate with trending moves like these, is that there is, this kind of a this very thin price move. We have this very thin move to the upside, and you can see it's very similar to this thin move to the upside, and you can see basically when we are kind of retracing these moves, you can see how market is kind of behaving when this thing is happening. You have this very one-sided directional buying. It doesn't have to get filled all the time always, but when it gets filled, because this is basically this H4 chart, and you can see there's like 40 hours straight of just going up. And you can see basically when we are filling moves like these, this is very kind of a one-directional liquidation cascade type of event, because there's simply not any kind of support, any kind of volume built into these moves up, and then market tends to kind of stop in these more kind of a sideways structured, places basically. So with BT selling off, I was looking at this level, and this was basically like my only level I was interested in buying. For me, this is kind of the lose this level and it's lights out situation.
Did you buy the dip?
Yeah, because I feel like if the BTC would start to lose this kind of level right here, there is this support right there at like 60k. It's a round number as well, so it's a decent level right here. But I would feel like at that point, there's like kind of a likelihood that we would start to fill this very thin move to the upside. And to be fair, like if you're gonna take a look at the weekly chart, this is a log chart for some reason. I think if the weekly would basically go down and retest this kind of a 52k area, this basically, you know, resistance kind of turning support. This is like a very strong level of support, and there is, you know, obviously I feel like people would be kind of a panicking a lot if you manage to go down to the 50k. But I still feel like this is, you know, in kind of a in trend retracement type of situation. Obviously, is like, you know, 20, even more, like 30% correction. So, you know, it's a little bit insane and large kind of a monetary value. But from like a perspective of a trend, and if you're gonna take a look at this weekly chart right here, especially, I would just see this as a retest of this kind of a last consolidation before the all-time high. So if this would happen, this would be decent level to buy. Kind of my plan for next week, where I would be looking for, you know, kind of strength and weakness, and, you know, if this is really strong and going to continue to 80k or whatever, is basically if we would get back above this kind of previous all-time high level, you know, that there is this like a resistance here, a little bit of support resistance here. So if you manage to reclaim this as well, you know, you have this kind of a nice invalidation underneath the 64.5, and, you know, if we go higher, if we start to lose this level, basically I would be most likely looking to, you know, get some short and maybe look for some bigger correction on BTC. So I think that's basically it from my end. Trading light doesn't work for some reason today, so I wanted to kind of show you some depth.
Maybe try like Europe server. Sometimes it works too. No, look,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
weird.
this here. Oh, nice. It loaded. But I wanted to show you this thing right here, which hopefully, yeah, it's going to work nice. Yeah, from the book depth, there is, you know, that kind of a support underneath the 60k, or like the 60k overall, the big psychological level. There are some bits starting to layering up, especially on Bitfinex. So just a little note that if you would head to the 60k, like I said, round numbers and so on and so forth. But my plan and the way that BTC looks right now, we had a decent sell-off. You know, we are still down. What is this from the all-time high? Like, you know, 12% correction. You can see funding and spot premium basically being back at the baseline, which is pretty healthy. I shared this today as well on Twitter. You know, these are kind of large caps, the biggest coins. Funding is, you know, basically very neutral levels. So yeah, I'm still in some altcoins. I think some of them are still looking pretty decent. And yeah, from this kind of point of view, this is looking pretty healthy, and I wouldn't be really surprised if we would head basically for the next leg up higher. If we, like I said, you know, very simple plan for the start of the week, where we basically get back above the previous all-time high. You know, you have your invalidation underneath 64, and you can target, you know, 250,000 or whatever you
Jesus
wish
Christ.
for. So yeah, this is my just a quick kind of plan on the BTC. Someone is asking about the COT report. Yeah, I still look at that, but to be fair, there is kind of a not that much on Bitcoin. This is the most kind of a relevant one. We had a little bit of kind of a change in shift, but there are no extremes here. You know, you really want to be looking at these things when they are at the extremes. Both of the commercials and the small specs are kind of a in the middle, where I believe, you know, there is not that much edge. You can see this kind of a red line when this went to this kind of a long extreme. You know, we had this huge rally. It's kind of coming off from that, but, you know, it's not really nothing actionable there basically. So yeah, not really. And from like a legacy point of view, I don't know. I just at this point feel like it's just better to look into the spot book and spot market. You know, obviously the open interest from CME and all the ETF flows and everything is pretty high. So I don't think that there is that much of actionable data at this point. One rather might kind of have a different opinion on that, but, you know, obviously we had a huge ETF flows, we had a huge increase in the CME OI. So unless these things like would like double or like drop by 80% all of a sudden, then I think that there's not that much to look at there.
Yeah, I have a few questions for you regarding BTC. I know, but like on your screen you have H4 daily and weekly. Do you look at monthly at all? I know like we're already boring streamers, but
I don't have a much kind of my issue.
Why do you have a log, by the way?
I don't know. Yeah, because I was looking at some like altcoins, you know, which basically look like
looked better
like
with log.
Yeah, no, but like if you look at stuff like this, like when you have these like 2 years of consolidations and this is like breaking out, you really need to. Phantom is not really one of them. I don't know which one I was looking at, but you know, it's kind of easier on the eyes when actually, you know, you just don't need to zoom in because everything is, you know, like this basically right here, the chart above. You know, like I don't need to fucking zoom in and go all the way back when I can just, you know, I know like. Yeah, it's whatever. I don't really look at monthly that much.
There's a level, I think, and it's lined up with what you said. I think it's like 62 is the monthly. Like the left, basically the left, the March 21.
Yeah, like some like these like highs.
Yeah, 60 to 62. I've seen a lot of people make the case that, you know,
Yeah.
monthly close below it, and we're actually fucked.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really use monthly that much. Yeah, I kind of like log charts as well. I don't use monthly all that much because I don't really hold for that long. You know, like if you like, you know, use a monthly chart, like you have this kind of a failure, you know, in November. Obviously, in hindsight, that's like an awesome trade, but like, you know, I'm not going to hold a single trade for, you know, a year basically. So yeah, I don't really use monthly charts that much, but I feel like time frames are just, I don't know. I was never the kind of a biggest, you know, like close above this level on a weekly or close above this level on a monthly and it's over and all of, you know, things like that. I just feel like it is all the same stuff, you know, it's just levels where, you know, and I don't think like the
Astrology
particular like I don't know, like I saw like many cases where like you have a level and like you close underneath that and it's so over and then, you know, there's a next weekly candle or monthly candle which is close right above it, so we are so back. I don't believe that like levels the time frames, the like exact time frames, because I care about one time frame, it doesn't mean that much, you know. I feel like the levels themselves are more important than just like if, you know, we're gonna close the day above it or below it or whatever. So yeah.
Next question. Obviously, if you look like weekly, is absolutely retarded, right? And BTC basically since 28 up only. On the weekly itself, I'm not sure that there's much signal, but on H4, if you zoom out a little bit on H4, do you entertain the idea of, you know, structurally maybe a lower high type of thing, like right shoulder meme, head and shoulders?
Yeah, like this breaking. I don't know. It's obviously it's possible, but at the same time, I believe like if you kind of mention this, like, you know, like the structure got lost here, or, you know, the structure kind of lost here, or, you know, whatever, any of these kind of swing points, like the trade basically kind of happened on the retest right here and we already sold off from there. So if, you know, if this is, I don't know, I just feel like, and especially like it's a valid kind of argument, but like for the way that I trade, I don't know. And for a daily, I know a lot of people were kind of talking about like this, because like this is basically a swing low that, you know, kind of made this swing high, so market structure basically, and once again, you know, we had this kind of close underneath that yesterday or today or whatever, yesterday, sorry. And yeah, basically you can see, you know, we closed underneath that, you know, once again it's so over, and, you know, we are back above it, so we are so back kind of situation. For me, what I feel is, once again, more important is that we are kind of sitting and this is like a very ugly level, but like this is really that kind of a consolidation before the all-time high, and as long as this kind of holds, this should be this kind of a demand. If you had all these kind of buyers that basically ran it above the all-time highs, like this is the structure to support. So once again, I don't really care all that much that we closed on the daily underneath the swing point and the market structure is changed or whatever.
Gotcha. So basically, you're saying there was an argument to be European. It played out. It's no longer time to be European.
I wasn't shorting. I don't know. It's like this is such a pain in the ass, like price action overall. You have just these kind of a liquidation events, and it will quickly bought back up, but there was like no follow through. It was really quite a lame, week for BTC. But yeah, I don't know if I would be shorting here. I think it's just like nothing that crazy just changed for me to just like, okay, this is the top. And also like you can see this kind of a very flat type of situation when like usually when you have a market tops, it should be this kind of a, like if you're gonna compare this to 2021, like you can see basically.
I like the tweet from yours. One guy is basically, this is completely random. Then you look at his Twitter, retweeting giveaways for $10 of Solana shitter.
Like when you get these kind of like all-time highs, like you have really this kind of like type of price action when like everyone think this is going to 200k in just like one fucking candle. It's just like very one directional. You overshoot some sort of level and then very quickly got kind of rejected from that, compared to this kind of, where's the drawing thing, this kind of a grind to the upside, very slow. Then once again, grind to the downside, basically like we go down, immediate retest. So this is like very kind of a structured price action. I don't know. I just like don't really feel like this was the top, but
you're trying really hard not to be European, basically. You're trying to do us justice.
Yeah, like the stream is going to finish and we're just gonna like dump to 50k from here, but I don't know.
Every stream every week, both of us. I'm not sure, it's overextended. New all-time high next week, and the moment we're like, I don't think that's all-time high. Sorry, it's weak.
I think like there was a nice opportunity to get some longs right here. At this price, I wouldn't long if we go above this high. Basically, I would like add longs target higher. If we break underneath that and there is this not immediate buyback underneath this, I would most likely go short and just target 12k. So yeah, that's basically for BTC.
I have to ask, because sorry for making this a bit of Q&A. I always liked and traded a lot of these narratives with a specific date. Do you have any thoughts on halving? Because it's coming up. It's like a month away.
Yeah,
and obviously in a month we can do another 70% move upwards, right? Like classic crypto, and we're at 100k. But no, I'm obviously shitposting a little bit. But do you personally look at that specifically with BTC, or you just completely ignore it?
I don't really look at that. I think like I don't really have any kind of. I know there's like a huge argument that like halving is bullish. But like Bitcoin is kind of been really bullish, Like when was the last halving?
Let me get you exact date.
Like it was
obviously for 4 years cycle.
Yeah, 4 years ago. So like it was basically like when COVID and
May 11, 2020.
Yeah. So it was basically when they kind of started to print money, kind of pretty hard. The halving before that was basically like 2016.
July 2016.
And, yeah, and the 2017 was basically that kind of and like back then BTC was trading at like $500. And 2017 was this kind of like a first bubble, this is where I basically learned about crypto, and everyone, this was kind of a first first crazy moment, the first kind of a bubble, basically, of retail coming into the crypto and like a big message. So it's it's kind of funny, and it's probably not completely random that both of these two events are lined with halving, more or less. But I don't know. It's kind of like I don't want to say like it's priced in and BTC can go to 120k after halving, but like everyone knows what halving is, and I feel like with ETF and like with this whole kind of a reality upside, which was very surprising and like still, and I'm always like this didn't happen with BTC at all, but like I still believe that most of the news and events and all of this is still the news. And what kind of made BTC ETF not sell the news was this kind of a very, or
Turbo
for a lot of
inflows.
people, yeah, like the insane inflows, which basically no one was expecting. Like I never saw a single post from someone coming into ETF saying like there is going to be 500 million or $1 billion daily inflows, and this is going to become like completely insane type of situation, right? And that's obviously always a possibility, but there is not really this kind of a thing with halving. It's like everyone knows what it is. It's going to happen. There is like not kind of like surprising thing which could make this different than it might be just like event everyone knows about several years in advance. So I don't know. I don't really pay too much attention to it. Like I said, everyone is super bullish. It's obviously very bullish. Like it's a bullish narrative for Bitcoin. But yeah, I don't really care all that much, to be fair. If price will go up, I will just buy it if there is going to be a good trade about it. If not, then not.
Yeah, I think you made a very good argument with the, let's not go all full statistics and university level boredom, but for you to have some sort of conclusion and or analyze data, you need to have some historical data and or like reference, right? Point of reference. And I feel like you're making a good point that last cycle literally money printer just started, and before basically crypto was irrelevant. Respectfully to the OGs.
It's like it's definitely line up with like two big events for crypto. I don't really think that when I learned about BTC in 2017 from like fucking Snapchat or whatever was trending back then, I really cared about halving. I don't think people that got $1,000 stimulus checks really cared about that halving happened a few weeks ago. In 2020.
Yeah,
so
but it's always aping meme coins anyways, right? I think we can maybe slowly use this. I think we can maybe, I don't know which alts you wanted to cover, but I think it's interesting because last week we definitely topped on some of the meme coins. Or wait, I should correct myself because now it's gonna 10x. But we've seen a bit of pullback with WIF, with Floki.
I think like there was this kind of a funny thing last week where basically altcoins, sorry, the meme coins really looked and they are still kind of down bad-ish. But then the book of meme thing happened, which once again, like, the Undertaker meme coming back from the coffin type of situation for meme coins, and now it's kind of insane again, but it's mostly on chain though.
But why obviously me being the meme coin connoisseur, somebody who never traded them ever, but the argument there, why I think it's relevant to what you said is with the stimulus check is a lot of the people when they get into crypto, or back then I remember, you would have, as you said, your $1,000 stimmy, and you're like, so Bitcoin, and this is genuinely how people think, even though you might not be the one, me and you, and people listening, but like I cannot afford Bitcoin, right? The basic concept of unit bias, of a price, like, so BTC is say $20,000 back then. I cannot buy a full Bitcoin, and they don't understand, they can buy whatever 0.05, and whatnot. But and on the flip side, you have people basically thinking, so holy shit, Dogecoin is 0.1 back then or whatever. What if it goes to $1, right? And they make these mental framework gymnastics around how much money they're making, what they're gonna spend it on, disregarding the market cap or whatever, like, right, circulating supply
Yeah.
argument and whatnot. So I think that's why it's useful with these, what Adam mentioned. And
Yeah, there is definitely the unit kind of bias with all of this. But at the same time, like look at like WIF, for example. Like WIF is one of the few coins which, it's trading at $2.50. So it's not like it's very different compared to like SHIB or like Pepe, when you buy like hundreds of thousands of these basically, compared to like with where like you buy 1,000, it's still $1,000. So it's like you don't have like that big of a sums, which is kind of interesting.
but I disagree because now it's on Binance, but I know people who bought it at like
Yeah, yeah.
0.0000 whatever. And with spot,
That,
because you look, maybe if you do perps, I think it's more, serves it more
yeah.
purpose.
There is this kind of a all
Yeah.
chart.
Right. So this is
Yeah,
basically here. There you had the argument of $1.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I've
That's true.
seen, I was
That's
in
true.
Denver back then, but basically a first Dogecoin to go to $1, even though it's so retarded, like it is so fucking retarded, but that's why it works. Right? Which is not
Yeah.
me saying people should trade meme coins.
Yeah,
But
that's true. That's true. That like it's gonna go to the dollar. Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, and me and you obviously traded soybean futures, spreads, arbitrages, and ETH BTC. So
Yeah, no, but yeah, like the meme coins, it's I don't know, like especially on Solana, like now it's just like that's what people at the end of the day, I feel like this is really what people care about the most, especially in the kind of bull markets, because like I think there is like a big difference, like when you have like a new layer one launching or some like more of a legit project. Basically, you have all these like like VCs, and it's been like heavily kind of a like unlocks and all of that, and like there are immediately people that just bought at like much better prices than you, and sometimes they just get like the vesting is not that long, and like it's overall it's a little harder to understand why this new layer one is just a better than every other 25 layer ones that already exist, and so on and so forth. While that you have some meme coins which like is basically just you'll just ape it using some Telegram bot, or just like buy it on your phone. It's funny pictures, and like it does 1,000x. So like for the new people, I feel like, and I have some friends which are like trading basically mostly on chain. They are not like on CT or whatever. They're just like,
God bless their soul.
yeah, but they are all into like meme coins and NFTs basically, and
But
like
all on
most of the meme
Solana,
coins.
right? We discussed
Yeah,
it today during run. Yeah, I have to give Adam props. But he went on a run today with me. It was a good effort. Delta
yeah.
will be like
So
gay.
it's all on Solana. Yeah, like ETH really took a huge L this this cycle. It feels like it's obviously up a lot, but look at the Solid.
This looks like proper breakout. Like
Yeah, this is basically coming to the if let's yeah, basically to the all-time high ratio between Solana and ETH. And once again, like my friends who are like, because it's really nice to kind of talk about someone who is not like it's not the main thing for them, because like they have jobs, and like because like when you are at CT, or like when we talk, it's just like we are unfortunately sitting in front of this for 12 hours a day, and your kind of opinion can get clouded a little bit on some things. Like they send me some meme coins who uh which I like didn't trade at all, and then they did like 1,000x on them.
Do you want to share your experience? I don't want to put you on the spot. You don't have to, obviously. But do you want to share your experience, or don't want to talk about it?
About what?
Well, you told me today about the trade you took. If not, it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. I bought the book of meme actually, which is kind of funny because like I bought it all from Twitter. I didn't get into the pre-sale at all. I just like woke up at in the morning. I feel like I follow like people who I kind of trust. They are not like complete scammers. And yeah, I just saw it on Twitter. Like someone just posted it. You know, I didn't even know there was any pre-sale. I just like opened it on the phone. I wasn't even at home, and I had some Solana on Phantom, and I bought it. And it was like 30 million market cap, which I didn't immediately realize. Like this is like kind of high. Like that's pretty stupid to even buy it now, but it was doing quite a lot of volume, so I was like, yeah, it's whatever. I gonna come back home in a couple of hours. And one of the thing with these things, although you could like buy a lot at that time, like when I bought, like I said, it got like 30 million volume, and it was trading for like I think like 2 hours maybe. It was on the like you could buy it on the open market. Basically, it was like 2 hours. So you could buy a lot, which I don't think I did buy that much. I could buy more, but yeah, it did like 25x when I sold it, basically, which was still kind of low. Like yeah, it went from like I sold it around like 600, 700, I think, million market cap, and it did like 1.5 billion or something like that. So it did, that's like completely insane. Yeah.
So I'd like how a week ago, I'll try to scream a bit more. Somebody's saying I'm way too low on the volume. So fucking we here, so like we don't trade on chain. Don't even fucking ask for on chain. Then Adam comes and so yeah, I made a 25x. No big deal. Buying an apartment in Panama. Whatever.
But this is like super random though. Like I said, I didn't know there was any pre-sale. Like people always kind of assume that like when you have some followers, like about all of these stuff. Like I had like no idea. I'm not in like any, or like I'm in some groups where people talk about stuff, but in general, like most people just know the same thing. And it was kind of funny because when I send it to my friends, which we talk on fucking Facebook, on like we use Messenger about for this, and I send them this. They were like, yeah, there was this pre-sale basically, and it's now trading at the open market. And I was like, dude, like basically more than me at this point about these things.
Yeah, let's talk maybe about sorry for the on-chain. I feel dirty now. I'm gonna wash my mouth.
It's slowly shifting. Like the next week we're gonna have like I'm gonna have a browser here, and there's going to be this kind of a deck screener just looking at you from the side. There's going to be a slow shift into.
And I'm still gonna be charting ETH BTC and being like, no, you don't understand. After halving, it's all. No, but somebody asked a good question on Sol ETH. If we use Sol ETH or ETH BTC as a proxy for altcoins, I would like to answer yes, but also I'm genuinely retarded for still kind of thinking this at this point.
It's like I don't know, because like I thought that like you can use ETH BTC very reliably for like a altcoin indicator, basically like alt season indicator. But okay, let's look at like BNB BTC, which is up in since basically start of the March quite a bit, and then look at the BNB ETH. Oh yeah, sorry, this is up even more. I kind of got lost there because I think that like a lot of these altcoins that are strong now, which is like BNB, Phantom,
layer one again, right? Like when you think about it.
Yeah, like layer ones again, basically. They are much stronger against ETH than a BTC, Phantom ETH is up a lot. Phantom BTC is probably going to be, it's also up a lot. But yeah, like I don't think using ETH BTC as a altcoin indicator is just the best thing to do at the moment, basically.
But the only disagreement there I would have is when ETH BTC is green, usually like one day a month. That's usually a good day for altcoins in general, right? So I wouldn't put it as you need ETH BTC to be doing well for anything else to do well. But when ETH BTC is doing well, it's gonna,
Yeah, I don't know. Like we had the Denkun upgrade or what the name was.
No, down. Whatever.
Whatever. I think that obviously people were talking about the layer twos. Arbitrum maybe got little destroyed by the fact there was like a 3 billion unlock or whatever. That's kind of not the best news even in the bull market. So yeah, like even like Optimism and Arbitrum are doing quite unwell. When you compare it to, Phantom, obviously Near has this huge, Near is probably one of the strongest ones because it's playing this kind of a AI card,
And that's the
which
problem I start to have with Eve. Sorry to cut you off, but like Eve is basically so Phantom. You have obviously Andre who has
I thought it's like a completed dead chain since like he left and like no one is using it.
he's basically doing comebacks all the time. He's like a
Yeah.
crazy ex-girlfriend who, one day she's like, "Fuck you, I'm fucking your best friend," and 2 weeks later, "I'm so sorry, I'm back." That's basically Andre on Phantom Governance fucking forums. He makes a proposal, then you look at orderflow and you see somebody magically bought. Look, I am not making any assumptions, but somebody buys fuck ton of Phantom just before governance proposal, and you're like, interesting, right? Well, either
Yeah.
way, the usage of the chain, I think, is a bit of retarded argument because you're looking at several chains nobody's using, and
Yeah.
the previous one you had up.
Yeah, the injective.
Let me check DeFi Llama actually.
You can just share your screen if you have it there. Yeah, I feel like it's like there are few like basically, and like you have some like special stuff we can maybe even talk about these, but like you have layer ones and layer twos, you have meme coins and you have AI, basically. And then you have stuff like Link, you have stuff like some other kind of a big projects by themselves, but like overall these are the three categories that are kind of pumping and just changing. And like the later ones are very easy, kind of, I feel like, things to track because it's just like the whole ecosystem. I much rather just trade basically the layer one than go and trade some stuff on chain on Phantom, for example, like the fucking like the spooky swap or what's the name of it, which maybe doesn't even exist anymore. But yeah.
Yeah, agreed. It's going to be interesting.
What's the layer one on it's the STX, right? How that's doing?
I'm pretty. If I'm not mistaken, it's more of a like a DeFi on. But hey, I don't
Yeah,
fucking know.
and the Conflux, no, that's
No,
something
no, that's
different.
Chinese.
Yeah, that's Chinese. Okay, yeah, like maybe with the halving, some like if Bitcoin would do well, or like if people think that BTC is too much up, and then they want to bet on something BTC related, then some of these might be a good bet.
Can we talk about my bags, please? Then ordinals.
Yeah, so I kind of slowly wanted to transition into that. I wasn't sure if you want to talk about this. Yeah, let's
I
see
mean,
your halving.
I feel like it's very simple thesis. Basically, halving in a month. People, you know how
Yeah,
it is. It's retarded market conditions still. Yeah.
this is
What is
up
Bitcoin
like
ecosystem?
ordinals.
You
I
have
don't
to
know
go
what
for who Obi.
Bybit
No.
or even
Ah,
that.
okay,
Well,
okay, fair.
it went from $2 since September to 65. So
Wanna hear the sad
it's
part? I was in at 3. I don't wanna say where I sold. It's
yeah, I know. But yeah, like definitely, I feel like if there is for this halving narrative, this is actually a kind of a better play, maybe even than buying Bitcoin. I don't know where I would buy the ordinals though. It doesn't really scream to be that strong at
I
the
kind of
moment.
like the 50-ish area,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
volume
Like
profile.
if we would like basically take out all these lows, like between like 40 and 50, like somewhere basically under 50, basically between like 48 to 40 would be really nice by kind of this range, targeting the other side of it
Yeah,
to 90.
and for me, this is one of the easy ones. When I have like my vertical lines and order flow and whatnot, because you know
Mhm.
exactly when halving is. So
Yeah.
that's what I expect some narrative or strength or push, if you will. I just closed this.
You think there is an Nvidia conference tomorrow?
And it's not even a conference, actually. It's like a keynote. So it's like a boring presentation.
Yeah, but there are a bunch of... there are actually like some like crypto projects like doing something there. No one is like speaking there or something.
We came very well prepared. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just
Okay.
I mean, I discussed trade with you before stream.
Basically, everyone is kind of anticipating tomorrow to be kind of a big AI day, and Render is being probably the strongest coin today with it. So
I think it will be a disappointment because I feel like AI becomes. I'm not saying to short it. I'm just saying people hear AI and they just go, they get a boner. And I think there's a big difference, between Nvidia earning, which will basically beat by triple, like to a point where experts repricing the price of Nvidia stock to 10x and shit versus a keynote presentation.
Yeah.
Right. It's like basically a Shibarium launch, if you will. Again, I'm not suggesting shorting one of the strongest altcoins ever, but
yeah, it's all of these look pretty good still. There's like nothing, like there's like no structure lost. This is not even giving proper kind of pullbacks. And the same goes for Near basically, which I was long a lot at the end of the January. I'm not anymore, unfortunately. But yeah.
But that's the thing what you said, right? You said, I don't look at monthly charts, I don't do shit, and that's why... That's literally, in a lot of ways, I would like to address one thing. I would literally want to talk shit about us too, or trading style, is because for the sake of in our quote-unquote system/edge, that's why we never catch these multi-month swings, because we're not used to doing that to begin with, right? So we catch, let's say, intra-week 30% move, and we're like, holy shit. And obviously, then you look at it 3 months later, and it's up 5x.
It's just true. Like,
what the fuck was that Chewbacca sound?
Sorry, I'm so tired after the run today. But I don't know. This is like very nice trade. I'm a little salty that I closed this one. I didn't even know at the time that it's like Near has anything to do with fucking AI. To be fair, I just look at the weekly SR flip and it's like, okay, there's a nice kind of someone was buying a lot of spot down here, so it was like, okay, someone is buying, I'm just gonna buy as well. Then I kind of closed it. Basically, I don't know, somewhere in this area. But this obviously it's pretty crazy move to the upside. I don't know if someone asked about if it's worth to buy coins that basically didn't popped yet in the accumulation phases. I don't think I have any of them here, because to be fair, I don't really think.
Maybe for layer 1 category, do they mean? Because I turned off my laptop, it's literally doing spaceship noises again.
Yeah, I feel like it injected, for example, going sideways for basically 3 months now, since mid-December. I don't think this is actually accumulation phase. This is more like a kind of the opposite when you have this insane rally up and then it just goes sideways. I don't know. I don't know how kind of this went from $1 basically to 42. Obviously a lot of people have this kind of idea that this is going to just go up forever. But I don't know. I don't see. I'm looking at this. I don't see this as exactly to be a bullish accumulation before the next leg up type of thing.
It's probably free long, since me and you are saying this, to be honest. Yeah. Maybe I think what we could, what I think we can kind of transition is, we're talking about AI coins doing well, arguably because of the AI thing tomorrow with Nvidia. Yeah. But what we also see a lot is Solana coins doing well, and Solana itself. Yeah. That meaning Jupiter. What are some of the others? I have a watch list.
I'm quickly looking at the coins mentioned here: the Ape, ZIL, CVX, HBAR. All these coins are so.
Forget HBAR. Can I do you a favor? Whoever asked that, Do
That's a,
that's
I
like
saw some of I saw
XRP type
some
shit. Like,
Yeah, I saw some like a Reddit post of someone like wanting to basically get a refund because this it like dumped a lot and like there's this like a disappointment. That situation is so funny. But it's up quite a bit to be fair. My point with these things is that they are very kind of, I don't know, like HBAR is pretty liquid though. Like it does quite a bit of volume, I think. But like these are
so
the
is
things that
so
they
is
can.
XRP, right? I mean,
Yeah, like this is, I don't know, like it's like if I would just like judge this by looking at the chart, which to be fair I do mostly because I don't really care about what these things do, and even though okay, like this might have some like a dumb, cultish community, but that doesn't also change the fact like look at Cardano for example. I don't know, like this is looking pretty good. Although I wouldn't buy it here most likely. I don't know where I would buy this, but like looking at these coins overall, like you're just like taking a bet basically, like they will pump rather than be more patient, wait for this kind of a breakout situation. Because like look at Near, obviously this went insane-ish. But when we had this kind of a first leg up, you got this kind of a nice retrace. So the way that I do things, because I also kind of don't want to just throw money into a bunch of coins and
and
just hope
hope.
for the best.
Exactly.
Yeah, have locked a lot of capital in like just things that didn't pump yet. Doesn't really seem like a too
Yeah.
smart approach, but yeah, like definitely it's worth watching coins that are kind of coming in. Like look at FTM, you once again had a huge impulse. You're gonna retrace it inside this kind of a accumulation phase. Off we go. So I don't know if it's worth to buy these things before they break out. Obviously, there is this chance that they will break out and they will never kind of a come back, which it is what it is.
And I don't know. Obviously, I don't wanna, how to say it, like promote the rotator trading style, but right now it's pretty easy to see that it's Solana ecosystem. For example,
Yeah, and
if you have the
we have a Jupiter.
Jupiter, Jito, whatever, PIF,
Yeah,
all the basically new Solana coins are just
yeah.
sending to infinity right now. You know what I mean? I think trading or looking for setups on coins like this is so much more productive than HBAR. Says somebody trading ETH-BTC. I know. Calm down.
Yeah, this is looking. Jesus, this trade like shit though. But yeah, it's buying the new things basically, especially on the ecosystem that's doing probably the best at the time.
And that's my kind of
So-
problem with ETH, because ETH just by default will never, you said near, basically adapting AI, whatever that even means. Near plus AI number go up, that's all you need to hear. But Ethereum will...
Is that
What?
Someone asked about this. I have no idea what this is. It's on OKX. Yeah, it's a coin that goes up. It probably has like not much volume, but it's up a lot. Yeah, sorry, back to your ETH point.
Well, just ETH is fucking... I hope I'm bottoming it, but...
Yeah, it's just like this kind of a thing that like we talked about this today a little bit. That's just like what's the point of using ETH? It's just like if you want to bring, because like obviously BTC is up a lot because it's BTC and people think it's like a store of value or whatever. But basically then after that you had like ETH, which was like the second kind of a first big project that came into space with all of these new things. But like if ETH and Sol would launch at the same time basically, and you had this like one chain which has like super low fees, is like super friendly, to do whatever there, and people just very quickly and very cheaply can basically get things, and then you have this thing where you pay $500 for gas fees for every single thing, and it's just like not the best experience. Like I don't know, it's just like, and at the end of the day, like there is no reason to kind of kid yourself and think that like this the space has like there is some sort of revolution coming, and only because prices are up, like you start all of a sudden make this your personality and think this is your, like whatever is going to happen, and everyone is going to switch to DeFi or whatnot. Like it's let's like stop not kid ourselves here. Like people at the end of the day want to gamble, people want to speculate, people want to make money out of this and leave forever, hopefully.
What
And
the fuck
like
are
it's
we
all
still doing here then?
it's like yeah, never mind. But yeah, like like with that, the Solana is basically like the best solution to do that, and ETH is kind of, I don't feel like doing much to improve that, or at least like there's like not really like I said, all of my friends they are into crypto, they are just using Solana, they never touch ETH, they don't care about ETH at all basically.
I mean, I say
So
all
with that
this
we
and
can
then
take a look at ETH BTC chart.
I like how
Yeah,
this
so
became like a thing that, as if we're like, or not. I'm saying we. By that I mean me. I like this idea that I'm supposedly bag holding this when every time people get excited about this shit, I'm selling. On
yeah, it became quite a, we talked about this. It became really a crowded trade. To be fair, I saw many people on Twitter now talking about ETH BTC. I don't know. Obviously, I also don't know. Doing TA on ETH BTC is probably too relevant, but I really felt like when we had this hit in middle of February and like had the 2 weeks in a row of going up, I really felt like this was that kind of a, you know, the time.
the time different.
Yeah,
This time is
yeah.
different.
This time is different. It's Vitalik is back to save us and take us to the promised land type of situation, and like it's time to just be happy and rich. And yeah, it was a disappointment, as always is. So I don't know. I'm really starting to, and we are not really in any kind of positions. Haven't been for a while. I feel like, and I'm kind of starting to giving up on this little bit.
Which I kind of like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is most likely the bottom, but
Buying more 1 second.
yeah, I don't know. Like obviously there is still the ETH ETF narrative,
Well, yes, I know.
which
Because basically all the smart people are saying it's just not happening in May. Very
yeah
long story short, because they don't have the conversations with the issuers, and it's not even like BlackRock deadline in May. It's like Van Eck. Nothing against
yeah
Van Eck. They sent me merch, so I love them. But but it's Van Eck and Grayscale, so it's not necessarily the political powers, if you will.
yeah
And BlackRock ETF deadline is in August, and I just cannot. I cannot survive 3 months of bull market watching ETH/BTC go down every single day. So
yeah. So I don't know. It's just like a little bit of a uh painful experience overall. Someone asking me about if I'm in Aptos. Yeah, I still hold it, but it's not amazing to be fair. Yeah, I'm up a little bit. I averaged in like 2.87. It really had a, I can show you this very quickly. It really had a very nice order flow. It felt like, at least. I'm also in some other coins, but there was a lot of buying from spot on Aptos, but like it's not really going up, and I can't take it anymore. So yeah, we had these like huge walls. They got filled. Hopefully this is it, and we're gonna go to the promised land. But the TLDR on this is like you do not see this and this very often. Making it very obvious and just not pulling back without market actually doing something. So yeah, I'm still in this, but it's just not doing that much. Okay, so does anyone have something to talk about? And please don't send us OKX. scams.
Jesus. Well, it's not that, right? Like right now, it's just a lot of new coins in general. And I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the thing is, and it's like a bit of competition among exchanges, is, you know, they try to front run the listings and whatnot. But we simply don't do much business on OKX, right?
I think there is a but we can for the right price.
It's just fucking funny.
But one thing which is kind of interesting and which I kind of found out in the last couple of days, because like I'm using these kind of screeners and these kind of a, like, someone much smarter than me set up. It's like a Discord bot basically, which like sends the coins which have like large OI changes, large kind of like a changes in volume, basically like a spaghetti chart. But for lazy people, I will just get a list of coins once per day, and I don't have to, just go through too much shit basically. And something that I noticed, there are obviously like some like crazy, like coins I never heard of. They are, still listed on like major exchanges because it's one of the requirements, and they send a lot. But to be fair, I truly feel like if you in the last couple of months would just like stick to trading the layer one bunch of, basically like the list I have here, kind of, which is like 35 coins, I believe, and these are the 35 coins. It was updated last week. The 35 coins with highest open interest
Wait,
on all
stop,
exchange.
pause, big stop.
What?
What the fuck is blue chip? Bro, like
No.
maybe can you please rename it to stuck in last cycle?
I had it like this, and then I just kind of like moved it up there, and I didn't change. Well, anyway, yeah, like these are basically the biggest OI coins. I really feel like if you would stick with these, and you would obviously miss some of like fucking, like 20x pumps and whatever, like, like if you would be long BNB, which I was, and close it kind of early, you'd be doing very well, and with a lot of other stuff as well. So I don't know. I just think like, yeah, the Ethereum Classic is basically real ETH. So yeah, but yeah, I just don't look at that much stuff. Was kind of the point.
Somebody asking, do you think DeFi narrative will return after Uniswap
I
rally? Yes and no, but the Uniswap proposal actually got rejected. If somebody sent me that, so like it did not pass. Yeah, and you can see it in the chart as well. So the
so
whole
nothing changed.
No, exactly. And it's been like 4 times they tried to pass something like this. So the whole premise is the company is making a lot of money, and because of securities law, they cannot give anything back to the holders, right? It's not like dividends, if you will. Basically,
Yeah.
and the proposal was, let's give token holders some basically money back, and it's not looking like it's happening. So
Okay.
very TLDR.
Yeah, I don't know if the DeFi will have, yeah, the BNB is about to.
But it has, right? It has been DeFi, but it's just not been on ETH. It's been on Solana.
Yeah,
Basically.
like the DeFi 0.1, what they kind of call it, with like Uniswap, SushiSwap. Like, I don't know. These things almost feel like just like really the scam pumps at this point. I know some people still kind of post these like SNX, like fucking like who is using this, and like you look, this is even not getting saved by the lock chart, basically.
Jesus Christ.
That's how bad that's how down bad this thing is. So I don't know. It's just like I feel like also like this is like my personal kind of opinion on that is like you have so much attention span
Yes.
to kind of look into things, and like I'm not going to chart or like look at something like Uniswap or Yearn Finance or
Yeah.
whatever every single day to just then maybe be able to get the one trade in like 6 months when this is actually going to go up and stay up longer than 15 minutes type
Like
of
if these
situation.
coins go up, I think it's time to get bearish type of thing,
Yeah,
And
yeah. So
look, not to actually give some actionable quote unquote advice. Look at new shit like Iowa. Can you check? It's on Binance, I think now.
yeah.
So that's basically your new perp dex,
Yeah.
right? again, I don't know how the chart. Yeah, chart looks horrible, but I would not be surprised. And look, this will now sound like a trade idea, but if it does one of those, falling trend line diagonal from the left side top to the bottom, like Jupiter, basically.
Yeah, like Jupiter basically done this couple days ago
Zoom out.
when on the daily. Sorry, this is the kind of a
Yeah.
thing. Like you go sideways, and all of a sudden you have this kind of buying interest, and we had a nice retest here, or we just kind of
Up all
pain,
the-
break. Yeah, and you're gonna go for inside. Like that's like a 10 time, and for this case, obviously, like if you buy Ivo, which I cannot spell for some reason, like this is like a 20 times better and higher probability long than buying, Uniswap
Synthetics.
or
Exactly.
yeah,
That's my
yeah,
whole
or
point.
synthetics. Yeah,
My whole point. And it's not saying synthetics teams are bad or Ivo is good. It's simply like at the end of the day, you want to trade shit that moves.
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, as a trader, you want volatility and hopefully managing your risk. And there's no emotions. I'm sure I've seen the volumes drop down on Ivo. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Someone mentioned the BNB premium. Yeah, this chart is insane. This is really crazy. I think BNB has a decent chance to, be kind of the second coin that will go to the all-time high, which is
Jesus,
pretty
what a
much.
chart.
Yeah. This is very, very close. It's 20%. I think this is the closest to the prior all-time high. I think Solana is still like 35. So if we continue to go up, I think BNB is very likely to be the second one that hits the all-time high. And like, to be fair, I don't know how much illegal stuff Caesar has to done, but yeah, like this held, this kind of a infinite support at 200, and it's just up only.
Remember when people were like Adam Cochran, Cochran, I don't know, were saying, at the bottom, charting like $60.
Yeah, like a couple targeting $8 on BNB. Pretty crazy.
I
But
think that was one of the trades where he actually made money. Was shorting BNB.
yeah, and I remember he like closed the trade basically before this whole rally up.
So like capo, good shit, dude. Like
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is insane. This is insanely strong and like overall insane chart, and it's Binance. So, someone asking about the like a outlook for outlook on the year and macro and all of this. Like I have no idea what I will be doing next week, and like. It's almost useless if you really don't like doing like investing, whatever. I don't know. I just like I don't hold trades for a long time. I don't. So there's like no reason to bother for me basically, and I have like no idea. I don't. And Runner can tell you much more about FOMC
let me
CPI.
ask you this. Remember when risk assets could basically macro argument was that if they start raising interest rates, that basically cost of capital going up, we can never go up. Look at the S&P 500, Nasdaq, and BTC. Thanks for playing. Literally, don't fucking waste your time with macro.
Like there is definitely. I think there is like some use in these things, obviously, but
when you trade soybeans, maybe not Bitcoin.
Like definitely the whole run in the Nasdaq, the whole run in BTC, like basically. I remember very well back in, like at the end of the 2022, like there was like we are going to, to recession, the interest rates, the inflation, everything, it's so over, and basically, and obviously indices are way above their all-time highs.
And that's the beauty of it. If you really think about it, basically the argument "we are so fucked" has been going for the last 100 years. It's literally mental illness that's preventing you to be a bit optimistic. Period. Like, just don't worry about it.
I really read a good article about this. Like how much actually this kind of a bear porn really sells. Like how much people are really want to like get into this kind of like is the end of the world. Everything is fucked. type of scenarios, and there's actually like people that are bearish, and you can look at couple, not only because he
And half
basically
of
became
European
like
crypto Twitter, it just
yeah, like being bearish very much sells. So I don't know. I just like it. I don't want to say that like fundamentals and macro and all of this is like completely useless, but at the end of the day, like it's very hard to predict something several months from now. First of all, and as long as I do not see any trade in that, I also don't care. To be fair, it's like yeah, like if I can trade something, you know, and I see the setup there, I'm all for it. But yeah, I don't really like wake up in the morning and be like, oh, what's going to inflation going to be in 7 months from now? Let's think about that for a whole day. So yeah.
when Dogwave Head does 11,000x.
Yeah.
And it's just
No,
okay. Like depends what you're trading. Sure, I don't wanna like let me try to be a bit more fair. If you trade indices, if you care about like actually getting a mortgage in real life, in real
But
world,
even for
sorry.
that, like even for like indices, like I said, like the fundamentals were like very bad at the like all 2022 and even 2023 was everything was like kind of fucked, and all of a sudden, everything is pretty amazing. And I feel like, and like even you can see this kind of a huge shift in crypto. Because I wasn't, I'm not going to sit here and kind of lie about stuff. Like I wasn't super bullish like fucking altcoins in last year, like we had basically Nvidia started going kind of much higher, and there was this very decent appetite coming back to stocks and options, while crypto was kind of dead-ish basically before September last year. Like this kind of a consolidation we had, where not much was happening in crypto. So, and all of a sudden there is a ETF. Whatever we go up, everything goes up. You have like a complete change of fundamentals. No one cares about inflation, no one cares about anything else, and you have this kind of narrative that you kind of trade. So it's, I don't know. It just doesn't make much sense for me to look that much ahead, basically.
And look, we'll be fine, right?
We will survive.
Like
Maybe.
I've been hearing that I'm gonna freeze in Europe, and so far so good.
Yeah. So yeah, with all of that being said, we have FOMC next week. No, I don't know.
Yes, we have. We actually have next Wednesday.
We have nice. Okay,
Oh, we are so
have
fucked. I'm selling everything.
Yeah,
I'm going
it's-
short right now.
It's so over. You can make sure to follow RunnerXBT on Twitter. Usually during the news events, he posts like 55 tweets. Like I usually wake up, and ever since like 7 a.m., he's just like talking about FOMC. So yeah, but yeah, that's kind of it for today. This week, we will see you in a week from now, as always.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Use the link in the description. Support us on Woo. That's the way to beat inflation.